So now we can get not only the code, but we can get the data that we want. Before we get into it, I'm going to show you just what we've seen before in the tree element that we've seen in just some minutes ago. So I'm going to write article, and hopefully I'm going to find the HTML code that we've seen before, and it's here. So as you remember, we had before this code that I wrote you on screen, a bit bigger, but now it's in HTML code, and it's here. It's the complete code. So before I wrote just this part. So I wrote this article h1 and the p, I think, and also div that it's below. It's here with full script. So that's what you usually will find in real websites. What I did before, it's like an introduction. So you have to get familiar with this HTML code, but don't be afraid because we're not going to use all this HTML code, but we're going to go just to the part we're interested in. So I'm going to show you how to go to those nodes we want to get data from. So now I'm going to close this HTML code we printed, and we're going to go to the website. So now we're here on the website, and to get to those nodes, we'll have to right click and then click on the word that says inspect. So we have to click on it, and now we get the HTML code of that part. So for example, we inspected the title, the Titanic title. So we get this part. So as you can see, if I go down, it highlights other sections in blue. And basically it's how it works. It's really simple. So now if we want to locate an element, we're going to use that list that I told you before with those priorities. So if you remember, it started with ID, then with class names, then tags, and finally XPath. So now we have that class name. So we're going to start with this root that it was the root of our tree before, and we're going to locate it first. So I'm going to copy this main article, and I'm going back here to the code, and I'm going to write soup. Once we write soup, we can find elements. There are two options to find elements. We can use find, or we can use find all. In this case, since I want to get just one element, I'm going to write find. So once we have this, we have to indicate the name of the tag of that node. So here the name of the tag is article. So I'm going to write just article. And now we have to indicate the attribute. So I'm going to write class, and now equal to, and now main article. So this is basically how we locate this section. Yeah, because this is the root, as I told you before. It's a way just to have a reference, because this is not giving us the title or the plot or the transcript. It's just locating like a reference for this data we're going to scrape later. So now I'm going to name this as a box. I'm going to say that this is a box, and it's gonna be my reference. So one thing that I almost forgot to tell you is this underscore. In Python, we have to indicate every time we write class here, we have to add this underscore, because in Python we also have classes. So in order to differentiate both, we have to add an underscore. It's just that, nothing more. So now we have this box as a reference, and we can now locate the title and the transcript. So first I'm going to locate the title. So to locate the title, you can easily go straight here, or let's imagine that it's not so obvious. So we can use one little trick here in the left, and it's this button. So I press here, and we can also get automatically the code hovering on the section we want. So here I'm hovering on the title, and immediately the name it highlights in blue here. below. So I get here the H1 Titanic, and this is what we want. So here we have only the tag. We don't have a class name, we don't have an ID. So we're going for the tag, and it's the only data that we have. So I'm going to copy this H1, and I'm going to write here soup.find, open parenthesis, and then H1. And now to get the text, we write get underscore and text. And now we write the parentheses, and that's it. That's how we get that text in that H1 node. One more thing here that we can do is, instead of using soup, we can use the box reference just to exclude anything that is outside of that box. So now I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to name it title and then equal, and I'm going to print this so you guys can see how it looks like. So I'm going to write print, and I'm going to write title. So now I'm going to print this, and it should say Titanic. So let's see. Oh, here it's the prettify here. I'm going to run it again. So we're going to see, and yeah, it's Titanic 1997 full transcript as it's here. So everything it's okay so far. So we're going to continue to get the transcript. Now to get the transcript, we're going back to the page here, and now we follow the same method. We're going to click here on this button, and then we're going to locate this little box here, and now we get the code. So I'm going to repeat just one more time if you didn't get it. It's just clicking here, then locating the element, and boom, you have the code. So now we have this div with class name full script, and this is what we want. So now again, the priorities are IDs, then class names or tag names, and XPath. So now we have class names, and there isn't any ID, so we're going just with classes. So I'm going to copy this full script, and then going back here, and I'm going to duplicate this code, and then here I'm going to write transcript. So now we don't want H1, but we want, let me see here, it's a div. So now we write div, and the class, it's gonna be, yeah, full script. So this is the same structure that we followed before for title. I'm going to print this out. I'm going to write transcript, and let's see what happens. So I'm going to write this code now, and now wait. So here's the title, and now here's the transcript. But there is one more little detail that I just omitted. Here in get text, everything is okay. Everything prints fine here on my editor, but I just tried this in Excel, and when you pass this information into other thing that is not the editor, this gets really messy, this data. So the problem is that if you want to put this information in Excel or inside a data frame, there is no space between these lines. So we're going to avoid this problem with two parameters in the getText method. So we're going to use strip and separator. So I'm going to write first strip true, and then separator equal to space. So basically what strip does, it deletes trailing and leading spaces. So this means that if I have a word Python here with a space here and another space here, it means that this strip is going to delete this and this only in the beginning and in the end of the text. So only here in the start of the transcript here, and only in the end of the transcript here. So just in these two parts. But the separator adds a blank space, so it will replace a new line with a blank space. For example, right now, between the second and the third line, you can see a new line between the sentence, you should see it, and the word okay. If we include a blank space as a separator, you should see both of them in the same line. So let's run this script to see how the transcript will look with these changes we made. It's running now, so I'm gonna get to the top. And as you can see, the new lines were replaced with blank spaces. And that's it. In the next video, I'll show you how to export this data into a TXT file.